His mother said to the servants at the feast, the ushers at the feast, whatever he says to you, do it. Now, there were set there 6 water pots of stone, according to the manner of purification of the Jews, containing 20 or 30 gallons apiece. That's a lot of water. Jesus said to them, fill the water pots. Fill the water pots with water. And they filled them up to the brim. Whatever he says to you, do it. Are you here? Sometimes we want to hear from God. We are looking for the last mandate he gave you, you've not carried out. You're asking for more, to hear from him more. The last thing he told you, you've not done it. Jesus said, why call you me Lord, 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 and yet whatever I tell you to do, you don't do it. The Lord is the boss. He calls the shots. Say, why call me Lord, Lord, and then you don't do what I tell you to do? He said, okay, I tell you, whoever hears my words and carries them out, I will tell you the manner of person he is. He said he's like a man that built his house on a rock and dig deep and laid his foundation and then built. When the wind and storms and floods came against that house, the house stood the test of time because it was founded on a rock. But he said, whoever hears my word and does not do them is like a man that built on sand, no foundation. The same thing that tried the other house, tried it and it collapsed, and the great was the fall of that house. Build your life on hearing from God and obeying. Build your life. Live a life of obedience to your Creator. Are you here? If he tells you stop eating this food, stop it. He knows why he told you. Stop it. If he tells you, it's not every day that God will dictate to you what you wear today. But when he tells you, don't wear this dress or wear this one, wear it. How many of us know it's not every day that God, he has given you wisdom and common sense to know what dress is. But there are times he speaks to you. Anyone here? When he has not spoken, you go by his word and you go by wisdom. The wisdom he has given us. James 1:5 says, if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all men liberally and upbraids not. But let him ask in faith. The kind of wisdom he goes to so that you can know how to navigate the affairs of life. It's by wisdom I know the quantity of food I should eat. I don't try to fill my tummy nowadays. I know when to, because when you fill your tummy, you become lazy in thinking and in spiritual exercises. When you're talking of watch and pray, it's not in a full stomach when you eat front and back. In those days, they will tell the child to eat, and then they tell you to put your hand like this. If you swing your hand, that means you're not full yet. Eat more. How many of us remember when they used to do that thing? They say, okay, put your hand like this. If you can see your fingers this way, they say you're not full yet. Go eat more. You don't need that now. And then, those our seniors used to play a lot of tricks in those days. You finish eating akara, you call a small boy. And he say, bring your head. You rub your hand on. He say, clean your hand. He say as napkin. He say that's what makes children grow. That's what they tell us as they are rubbing. They say that's what makes children grow. That's what makes children grow. You can imagine the fraud. Okay. So, and he said to them, now, he told them, fill the water pots. They filled it. The next instruction, if they didn't fill the water pots, this next instruction would not have come. Are you here? Carry out the first mandate. And then you wait for further instructions. If you've not obeyed one, why do you want to? And he said to them, draw some water out now and take it to the master of the feast, to the chairman of the party. And they took it. When the master of the feast had tasted the water that was now made wine, between that moment Jesus gave the instruction and obeyed, and when they got to the chairman of the party, that water had turned into wine. When the master of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine and did not know where it came from, but the servants who had drawn the water knew, the master of the feast called the bridegroom and said, come, this is not the way to do things. And he said to him, every man at the beginning sets out the good wine. And when the guests have well drunk, then the inferior. You have kept the good wine until now. He didn't know it's God that produced that one. This beginning of signs did Jesus in Cana of Galilee and manifested his glory, and his disciples believed in him. Whatever he tells you, do it. Whatever he tells you, do it. It's as simple as that. There is a need to be in tune with God in our times. These times are trying, highly trying. The variables are changing and increasing every day. The constants are disappearing. In those days, in quadratic equations and all those equations, there were constants represented by seed. How many of us remember? The constants are no more constant. There is hardly anywhere you turn that is reliable nowadays. But the word of God never fails. The only constant is the word of God. That's what to build on. So, what has God said to you? Or what has he said? You need to find out what he's saying. God speaks to all his children, and no matter your level, he will speak to you at your level. If you understand slangs, God will speak to you in slangs. The need is, you must be able to hear his voice. You must be able to hear his voice. You can't obey an instruction you did not receive. It's in slangs you put it, the language, you understand that you pick it. You think when God speaks to you, he's speaking Igbo. He may speak Igbo here. He created all those things. But what he releases is his mind, and you hear it in a language you will understand.